I was raised in a Christian home. I went to church every weekend, Sunday, Wednesdays. Got married, raised my children in the church.
I've been a believer for the better part of 36 years. I was led to the Lord by my wife, then girlfriend at the time, when I was 15 years old.
One thing that I prayed for so long was that my husband would be more the spiritual leader, because for so many years I felt like I was the spiritual leader. And so I prayed, and God tells us never to stop praying, right? To just keep on praying. And for years, he'd come to church and his walk with the Lord was there for sure. He never walked away from God, but he just wasn't that spiritual leader of the household until we joined Rooted, and his walk has just gotten so much deeper, so much closer to the Lord. And that to me is just an answer to prayer.
It really started, I want to say it was probably the week before Rooted was even announced, with a song that the worship team sang. That was, song was called Second Chances. And I break down whenever I start talking about it, but it was one of those things that, it's where God just planted the seed for me that, for me had a lot to do with my testimony from 15 years on. Even though I had lived that, I really didn't know, at what point God was in my life. I didn't really know my testimony. When we joined Rooted the following week, it was in a way a kind of my nudge to really go back and really think about my testimony and really see where God has played a part, even though I was just coasting along.
Rooted brings you back to your foundations, all the way back to creation and servanthood. And those are the things that, although being able to dig a little bit deeper and dive into the word and really seeing and understanding what it says about those things just made it that much stronger for me.
The way it's presented, the way it just grabs you. It roots you in. No pun intended, but you kind of get hooked on it and you just want to keep reading.
I think it was a little bit of the community aspect of it, just getting to be around other believers, just having that time of fellowship, just sharing, being able to see that, there's so many things in common, so many things that we go through, but also content, really, like I said earlier, just digging deeper and diving into it and knowing the way God communicates with us, what his expectations are with serving in our churches, all those things that, even though those are things that, right? Just puts things into perspective a little bit more. There's still so much that we have to learn. There's still so much in the word that, even when we reread it, you're like, wow, how did I miss that, If there's any doubt in your mind whether or not to do the study, do it.
If you're on the fence about doing Rooted, just, get off and get planted, man. That's all I can say.